All right, well, welcome to session 4 of Curse of Strahd. We're going to get right into it. We have just completed the Shambling Mound encounter in the sub-basement, and I will have anyone who's interested in looting the corpse of the boss, you can tell me how you want to look for loot first.
I will use my quarterstaff to push things around and see if there's anything within it to loot.
Okay.
Would that be?
Yeah, do a investigation with that, please.
That is a nat 1, which puts me at a 0.
A 0. Yeah, it's definitely a corpse. No doubt.
Cool.
I will use my axe to kind of cut into it a little bit and see if I can find anything.
All right.
So I'll throw an investigation. Oh, we get a whole 4.
Yep, same result. Anyone else wanna hack into the thingamabob? Wait a minute. I'm gonna have you turn up a little bit more.
I'll put it closer to my mouth this time.
Alright.
Quick question on the side, is the map gone?
Nope, I just moved us back to the entrance.
Okay, because my map is...
We are over here.
Okay, I'm just refreshing.
Nice.
So, that's reloading. Apologies. You want me to do perception, right?
Yes. Perception for your eyeballs and investigation of using your hands.
Investigation, thank you. Sorry. Swapped over a 5 from an 18. So I see things.
Yeah, it's definitely a carcass. Ember, if you'd like, as an additional check, you can use a nature check to see if there's anything else that you may have missed in an initial search.
I sure would love to do that. That's a nat 1.
Oh, okay. So yeah, so it's just a plant, and you knew a lot of things about the plant, as you may recall, but even knowing what you do about it, you're not able to find anything like its heart or anything that would have been useful. Just like probably just gored it too much to death when you guys were combating it.
Gotcha.
All right. Was there anything else we were wanting to collect on our way out of the house? Was there interest in the? You already, I think, with last session we picked up all the items that were used for the ritual services, as I may recall. Shepherd.
I'm sorry, I had someone talking to me while you were telling me stuff. Was I able to pick up that crossbow?
Yes, absolutely. In fact, you found that. So it's just it's a short crossbow or a hand crossbow.
Light?
Yeah, it's a hand crossbow.
Okay. Is that the same as a light crossbow?
Nope, it's different.
Okie dokie.
I'm just taking my longsword and I will be happy.
All right. So, as I had said last session, the wonderful house, having been sated its thirst for blood at the death of the swamp monster you killed, the house does allow you to leave. And stepping out, kind of the peak of the, not quite sun, because there's a good haze of cloud and just kind of dense fog everywhere throughout the lands, but you do step out out of the death house onto the streets in the village of Barovia.
Oh, dang.
Whoa.
If only we would have saw this map first, it would have been more clear what we were getting into.
The sheer size of Death House as you leave it compared to the many, many, many other houses that are stacked closely nearby does have that kind of forbearing presence. Around you, there's tall shapes looming out of the dense fogs that surrounds everything. The muddy ground underfoot is made of wet cobblestone. These tall shapes are the dwellings of those who live in the village. Windows of most houses stare at you with pools of blackness, no light within. Very little sound cuts the silence of the town except for mournful sobbing echoing through the streets from a distance.
Seems like such a lovely little town.
Do we see anybody?
Right now the streets are very barren. There's like rats scurrying around, kind of just going between boxes and into gutters and stuff. But for the most part, the streets are very kind of abandoned at the moment. But like I said, there is a kind of a wailing cry from down the street a ways.
And sorry, did you say what time of day it was?
So it is midday right now.
I will walk in the direction of the wailing. If I can stealth so that we can, I would like to see what's happening before people see us.
Okay.
Do you want me to roll a stealth?
Nope, I'll just have you be stealthy.
Okay, great. All right, click on myself. What do I see so far?
So far you don't see anything to note. You do note that there is a large tavern-looking building in this direction. There's a large building over here that does have light coming out of windows, and that's the general direction from the sound. And then you hear faint music coming from this direction.
I will relay the three options and ask the group if we want to go to the tavern, the crying, or the music.
Such a hard choice.
Darmyl could probably go for a beer right now. He's kind of had enough chasing crying for the next at least hour. I feel like Darmyl feels like a lot of what we've been doing is chasing crying and chasing a brew, and then the crying doesn't sound bad to him.
I'm likely inclined to go toward the crying, but I'm willing to follow as you guys prefer to go.
Golly gee, let's investigate the source of that crying.
Is that where you're headed? Is the crying or the tavern?
Yeah.
The crying? All right.
Yeah, I think so.
Crying, then beer, Darmyl says as he follows the group.
Again, if possible, I'd like to be stealthy so that we can see. I don't want to enter into a house again and get stuck in there.
Yeah, that does make sense. So the crying is coming from down this direction. As Ember, I'm gonna have you stop right there. Do just a general perception to look around you. Down the street ahead of you.
That's a 7 total.
Okay, yeah, there are people on this street moving around. They seem to be going from like house to house, and and house to house. But they're all hooded figures that are kind of just keeping their faces obscured and hidden. And people are moving kind of around those three houses, like huddled in groups of 2 or 3, and trying to keep their faces hidden from anyone that would see them.
I'm going to relay back to the group. This is looking a little bit shady. I don't think everything. It is possible something is going on in this village.
No.
You mean this village right next to the death house might have something going on in it?
I'm starting to get an inkling that might be the case.
Yeah.
We could go to the tavern and get beer and gather information.
I'd see Darmyl's a fan of this idea. Darmyl's kind of like he's following the group. He's also, you can see him kind of looking back into the tavern windows. And do I see anything in the tavern as I walk by the windows?
You see a person clutching a stein near the bar counter, rocking back and forth manically, and a person staring into the hearth with just kind of a dead expression and blank profile.
Does the beer look frosty in the stein?
It does not.
I do not relay this to the group.
I will note that the building you're currently passing, the one that's marked E1 on the map, does appear to be some sort of shop. There's a sparse lighting kind of pouring out from the heavily drawn curtained windows. And then there's a creaking sign over the door by you, Ember, that reads Bildrath's Mercantile.
Interesting. Does anyone need supplies?
Should you not need supplies, this is where you can certainly buy them in the future as well.
Excellent.
I suppose we should just go investigate those shady figures.
Yeah, I mean, we could gather more information, supplies, or equipment, but I feel like just rushing in face first is kind of the MO.
I will point out, we were tricked into that.
What if we were to go into the mercantile just because we do have some interesting things to potentially sell?
Yeah.
Or
and might as well set up like our starter relationship on good terms, and let's try to keep it on good terms.
So you want to take a peek?
Yeah, I want to take a peek.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me pull up a menu. So, and rather than doing 70 maps for this town, we are going to have that conversation right here. So as you enter, the establishment is a very tall building. There's space for 2 or 3 floors within. However, it's just a grand open hall that's stacked nearly floor to ceiling with tall shelves and really spindly ladders to reach the higher shelves. A nice coat of dust lies on a lot of the contents and the wares within. And there's an old, very crotchety looking man stocking a shelf nearby from a box. His back is to you as you enter, and he does not acknowledge your presence.
Good sir. May we browse your wares?
Yeah. Waves his hand at you dismissively.
What's the crying down the street?
Oh yeah, that's just Mary. Don't waste your time with that one.
Does she do that often?
Yeah, some nonsense about a missing child. Boo-boo. Everyone's got problems here.
Well,
I hope she's not bloody.
I'm not sure about how bloody she is, but I know she's certainly mad.
Angry or insane?
What's the difference anymore?
Oh my. Okay.
As you look around, you see that there are stacks of ammunition for various types of weapons. There are spellcasting focuses for casters. Your basic adventuring gear that you would find in the adventuring gear of the player's handbook, I believe page 25. In chapter 5, sorry. Is there anything specific you're looking for?
Are you looking for anything or interested in anything that we might have to offer?
It depends on what you have to offer.
I guess it depends on if you like strange magical artifacts or unusual, potentially cursed items.
Yeah, I mean, like, if you look around the city, half the items in the city are cursed items, so, I mean, like, gotta be a little more specific.
Wow, well, you're kind of difficult to bargain with.
Are you interested in anything from the windmill house?
The windmill house.
What was the name of the people who lived there? I don't remember. Anybody?
Well, the children were Thornbold and Rose.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, I've heard tale of those children existing once upon a time. And you say
Well,
you
we just
pilfered
took a
from their
small walk
house.
there. We did.
Well, let's see what you've got.
Well, I have this. I'm going to pull out that knife carved from human bone.
Okay, as you pull it out, or rather as you go to find the item, where you had placed the item, you find a nice kind of just handful of ash.
Oh, who? Wow. That's unfortunate. And not fair.
Can you turn your output up just a tiny bit, please?
You what? You want me to what?
Turn your output on your microphone up a bit.
Oh, up a bit again?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Darmyl, did you need any more torches?
Yeah, Darmyl's looking around. I'd be, I think, interested in some more torches. I'd be interested in how much the crossbow bolts are. I didn't see those. I may have just not gotten to them yet.
Oh yes, crossbow bolts. A bunch of 20s, 2 gold pieces.
So I would probably grab one of those and let's say 10 torches. Why not? Because they're a copper.
Torches? That'll be 10 copper. Plus,
Yeah.
oh, you said 10 copper? 10 torches.
Yes.
Oh, I see. Okay,
Yeah.
well, for you, I'll cut a really good deal. For 10
really?
torches, that'll be 99 copper.
Hey.
I feel like that's steep.
If you want it, you'll pay for it. So you don't want it, is what I'm hearing.
10
I mean, that's
torches
like
for 99 copper? No, I won't.
Well, I think I could give you 2 torches for 20 copper. How about that? What a deal.
What are your torches made out of? Because every other torch I've seen has not been worth nearly that amount.
Nope, that is exactly, they are the same as every other torch you find out there.
Sure about that?
I am very sure about that.
You got some sort of loyalty club we could join?
I sure do not. The loyalty is to those who pay the wage.
All right, I'll do 2 torches for 20 copper and a bundle of crossbow bolts.
Alright. Like I said, bundle of crossbow bolts, 2 gold pieces.
Can we get 2 bundles for 3?
You can get 2 for 4.
How many would we have to buy to get a discount?
What discount? You're adorable. You must be new here.
We are, in fact.
Ah, well, let me tell you something, Sonny. I am the only establishment, so you'll pay my prices or you'll go without.
So my
You do
question
know there
is
is a third option.
Pardon?
There's a third option.
Go on, do tell.
Well, I mean, we are, while we may be new in town, seeing as how a house, such as the Death House exists here, I think we can speak openly, considering your town map at the entrance has marked and says Death House in giant letters, and there's clearly some work we're going to be doing here. So I'm wondering if there's some sort of like sponsorship or patronage or mutually beneficial arrangement we can come to as a group of people who are going to be in town for a while. I'm going to cross interesting objects. Maybe we make sure to bring all the coolest stuff here first, no matter why we're looking for it.
It's adorable that you think you're the first heroes to cross my threshold. I'd be lying if I said you weren't the most recent, but the last 3 groups that have come through here with a similar story as yours have never been seen or heard from again from people in these parts.
So what you're saying is that you currently don't have any heroes in this really creepy town.
What I'm
Mostly
saying is
what
I
I'm
don't
hearing is-
believe in heroes. I believe in good, honest work and expensive prices.
Do you have any
Promise-
jobs for us?
I sure do not. My nephew will take care of any of my needs.
Who's your nephew?
He's that little guy up there, and he points up towards, towards the very high points of the ceiling, 90 feet up on a really rickety ladder. There's a small, slender child between the ages of 8 and 10, putting things away from a large box that he's got strapped to his back on the top of the ladder, kind of wobbling side to side.
So, merchant, can I ask you a question?
I feel like you will either way.
I will either way, of course. So my question is this. How could you afford such steep pricing and to continue to order more stock when it appears no one's actually purchasing any of the stock you have? I mean, look at all of the cobwebs all over.
Like I said, I have no competition in town. If you want it badly enough, you'll pay for it. It's a good motto, and people in this city seem to get it. It's you folk that don't.
I don't see any other customs, so I was curious.
I mean, you're not wrong, honestly. I play DM to player. Yeah, well, it's because my regulars are a bit indisposed at the moment. Oh, with the events going on in town these days.
Indisposed or uninterested?
I'd say indisposed.
Yeah, Darmyl's also doing the oh.
What is
What?
happening in town?
Yeah, tell us about these events.
Oh, well, there's those foreigners who made camp outside of town with their wild and spiritual music. All that nonsense that they be spewing about. And then on top of that...
Hey, they sound fun.
And then on top of that, we got the hag stealing children. Just going to houses, stealing children. Good, hard-working children, ripping them out of their beds and taking them away in a bag. Parents can't seem to keep their kids long enough to rear them into adulthood these days.
I thought you didn't care about the child.
No, not those children. Like I said, I got this one.
Oh, I see. Aren't you concerned about this child?
He doesn't leave the house, and we don't let people like her come in here, so...
Seem to have a really good answer for everything.
You seem to have a comment for everything.
I like him. He's cheeky. Okay, well, apparently, right now, this merchant is not going to do anything but frustrate me. So, I think I'm going to wait outside.
Okie dokie.
Yeah, I've got some gold, so I do. Darmyl sort of, sees this conversation sort of come to a close and sees our giant robot friend plomp out of the store, which I can only assume requires some degree of ducking.
That's true. I might agree.
Yeah, and then I just come up and go. So how about two bundles of arrows and a torch for 4 gold?
2 bundles of arrows and a torch for 4 gold. Is that what you just said?
I think so. Wasn't
That's exactly what he just said.
Wasn't it 2 gold for the bundles of crossbow bolts? And
Yeah.
yeah,
He's trying to get a free torch.
You want 2 bundles of arrows or 1 bundle of arrows?
I would do 2 bundles of arrows and a torch for 4 gold.
Just to make sure you mean crossbow bolts.
Crossbow bolts, yes, sorry.
In addition to what you've already paid for, or in addition to?
Oh, I didn't think we'd paid yet. I thought we were all still haggling.
We are still haggling. Okay, cool. That's what I'm clarifying. Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
I think you're a bit confused on your math there, Sonny. What you mean to say is 4 gold pieces and 4 copper pieces.
Darmyl sets down 4 gold pieces and 5 copper pieces.
And then he takes all but 1 copper piece.
Oh, well, okay. It was worth a shot.
Pleasure doing business, I'd like to say, but it hasn't been. I feel like I'll be seeing you more, unfortunately, if you don't die first.
Or we'll go missing, one of the
Or
two.
not at all.
Or
I don't
not
know
at all.
why you don't want to just be friends with us. So 2 of those.
Yeah, the small boy up top of the ladder makes a loud groaning noise, and you hear a glass tip over high above you and shatter, and he begins descending the ladder.
Can I see if I can catch the glass?
Oh no, it's broken
Before
on
it
the
shatters?
shelf. It's not like coming off the
Oh,
shelf. It's
okay.
up on
Okay.
there. He knocks something over type of thing.
I will also put down 2 gold and get 20 crossbow bolts.
Alright, sounds good. So the owner of the shop is going to chastise the boy for breaking really good, expensive wares that we don't have the finances to replace, and I can't believe you're as clumsy as your older brother was. He sends the child towards the back to go get some cleaning supplies to clean up his mistake. Sorry you had to be privy to the grievous error of my nephew.
I'm just gonna leave.
Okay. Anyone else still in the shop?
Darmyl headed out after his purchase failed, and just out of pure frustration with this just brick wall of I might as well use the self-checkout.
Probably true. Sparrow, was there anything in there for you?
No, there's nothing he has that I can't make myself.
Totally fair. Well, then as you're exiting, you all hear from next door, actually, a high, shrieking, crying, screaming sound of just pure frustration in the house next door.
I'm gonna immediately turn towards that house because that catches my attention.
I wonder if that's the mother of the missing boy.
Are there any windows on the front of the house?
Yeah, they are all slatted up with wooden beams, slatted from the inside.
Well, I'm gonna go up and press my head against the slats and see if I can hear anything from inside.
All
So
right.
I'll go for a perception,
Sounds great.
and I will get a 12.
Yeah, so it's a little bit further from where you're at, kind of across the house and kind of muffled-ish, but you do hear kind of like a really stifled moaning sob, kind of coming down towards you.
Darmyl stage
would
whispers loudly, it's all right? Everything's fine?
What?
I'm going to assume this is miserable Mad Mary's house.
Darmyl, you said something?
Just that as this is happening and we're looking through the fence, that I'm stage whispering, I'm sure it's all fine, and looking back towards the tavern.
Sounds about as fine as everything else in this town so far.
I would agree with that sentiment. As in, this town is not fine at all.
You hear a yelling voice of a woman who's angry. Where are you? Where do you go? Where? It's no fun. It's no Blinsky. It's no fun. Where are you?
Are the people in the robes still going back and forth?
Yep, but they're kind of more sparse now. I will have those of you not presently engaged with the house that Sparrow is next to. If the other 4 of you on that strip of road could roll a perception.
That I can. It's a nat 20.
Oh, beautiful. Anyone else?
I guess that means my 7 doesn't matter.
Yeah, I got a 22. Sorry. Yeah, I got a 22.
Alright, Ember?
Not natural, though.
Is there an Ember's roll?
16.
You said 16?
You said it's 16.
Yeah.
She's fixing her mic.
Oh, got it. Alright, for anyone who rolled over a 12, then, you hear a sound of small wooden wheels rolling across the damp cobbles. There's a lonely sound. It's the sound comes from a lonely, hunched figure, bundled in rags, pushing a rickety wooden cart through the fog. The figure goes up to one of the houses nearby and knocks on the door.
We can see and hear them knock on the door.
Yep. Like I said, it is a quiet street. It's foggy. It has kind of that, where every little sound kind of just echoes, that kind of permanence, due to the fog and the silence of the city.
Everything makes me so hesitant, as an aside here. Everything makes me feel so hesitant in this town.
Yeah, you're you're down a busy, long street, not busy with loud, chattering, happy people, but darting, cloaked figures and quiet scurrying of mice and rats, and yeah. For the sake of how large the scale is, every single one of these squares represents 40 feet of space, and so you're a couple hundred feet away and can still hear the loud knock, knock, knock slowly on the door from this figure down the street. That's how quiet and still the sound is and how well it carries.
Okay. I'm very curious. So as much as I want to knock on Mary's door, I'm gonna head down here towards this figure we
Yep.
see.
I'm gonna step back from Mary's house and follow the group.
All right. As you approach that figure, let's see, we'll do it in order of where you're at. So we'll have Ember and Shepherd alone do a perception to see what you can hear.
15.
All right.
11.
All right. So Ember, you're able to hear the words "dream pastries," "sleeps well," payment later, as the figure collects payment, exchanges a small sack with the people, and then pushes the cart further down the street, away from the group.
What's a dream pastry?
What?
I don't know. They're selling dream pastries.
Oh, I didn't. Did you hear her say that? I didn't hear her say anything.
Yeah.
Cream pastries.
Shepherd, you hear screaming from the direction you saw that figure go.
That's exciting. Now I'm hearing screaming. Hearing screaming coming
I'm
from.
going to say that everyone hears it, just kind of given the echoiness of all of the houses in the streets. The people that are kind of scurrying around you guys from like the houses and stuff and the cloak, they're just kind of like weaving around and with like, through the group to get to their destinations and still being like really hush hush and hiding and turning their faces from you. And like even hearing the loud screams and the pleas that they're hearing from a distance, nobody seems remotely perturbed or even slows down what they're doing.
Can I stop one of the hooded
I'm gonna
figures
look
and
around.
ask,
Yeah, sure, totally.
what are you doing?
So how do you stop them?
I'll grab at an arm.
All right, so you grab at an arm. Can you give me a dexterity, please?
Just flat
raw-
dexterity
raw
or a
dex,
saving
raw
throw?
dex. Just a raw dex.
20.
All right, so you're able to grab where the arm of this figure is, and you grab hold of like their cloak, and then the cloak just kind of like goes limp in your hands, and there's nothing under it. From down the street, you're all hearing the shrieking. Shepherd and Ember again. Have you do perception one more time, please?
Definitely not over at an espresso maker. Ooh, that's a 14.
All right, Shepherd.
5.
Ember, you hear from a distance, "She's but a lass. She's not ready to leave the home. Please don't take her." And then in response, you hear, "It's payment time." And then there's more screaming, and then the cart continues moving down the road.
I turn to everyone and say, I think they're stealing children.
Well, it seems like she's buying children.
I think we run after her.
But why are we running after her?
I mean, in
I didn't
the
hear
place.
anything.
Oh,
Who heard something?
Does Ember
Yes,
relay
I
that?
think they're stealing children. We should run after them.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
I didn't realize it was Ember who said that. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah, as you approach Ember, she's knocking on this door, but no one seems to be coming to the door.
I want to stand and watch within like hearing distance. Can I get a better look at our figure?
Yeah, so she is a like an old woman, really kind of she walks with a walking cane that appears to be some sort of oak staff. She is human. She's got really kind of like a shoulder length greenish blue hair, Her outfit is kind of orange and red in color, kind of like she's embodying just kind of a festive spirit of delight in her wardrobe and her appearance. But yeah, she seems super comfortable. She doesn't seem like she's she doesn't take any stock that you're there. Just completely just doing her own thing and living her best life as far as she's concerned. After a short while of knocking and no response, she does turn back onto the road and continue on to the next house. Anyone in home? Dream pastries? You want the dream pastries? Very popular, the dream pastries.
I'm gonna approach her, ask about tell me about these dream pastries you're selling.
Oh, hello there, child. Dream pastries. They are the best of the best. Have you ever had a night of sleep where you cannot escape your mind? Where you are looking for the best way out without stuffing it? Then dream pastries are for you. They will ensure that you have a wildest night of fantasy and luxury, the best of what you cannot find in Barovia. It is the dream pastries for life, I say.
Do you sell a lot of these in town?
Yes, but the people here are very poor, so I do come and I collect their payment. After 1 year, if they have not come up with the money, they are to give me their youngest child. It is known that these are the terms. There is a kind of there is a sack on her cart that is squirming and kind of grunting. Sounds of a small female within. As you can see right there, and she, like a long spindly finger points to the cart, there is payment right there.
How much are they?
They are a very affordable, good price, because they're the only dream pastries in the whole of Barovia. They are 100 gold pieces per one, and I sell them 12 at a time.
Wow.
Wow.
So
How many
how-
people have ever paid with gold?
None come to mind.
So how many have given their children?
Given? I mean, I usually have to collect payment, but they do pay when they have children. If they do not pay, I just take the wife. Beggars can't be choosers when you're buying and selling with beggars.
So what do you do with the children or the wives?
We are not close enough friends for me to tell you this. No, trade secrets.
So do you have anything else to trade? I don't really eat pastries or cakes or anything. I have no need to, but is there another way we could become closer?
I mean, I'm not as spry as I once was, but I suppose we could get a chance to be closer.
Not quite what I intended, but not entirely averse.
Okay. Well, I stay at the little beautiful and wonderful tavern here in town. I have my own room in the back. It's the back room. The bartender, he can show you my quarters if you ask him ever so kindly. You can tell him that Morgantha, which is me, sent you. What's your name? I'll tell him to keep an eye out for your beautiful visage.
Oh, thank you, Morgantha. My name is Shepherd.
Shepherd.
It's so lovely to meet you.
What a wonderful name. We could have a partnership should our friendship bloom and blossom.
That sounds lovely. And are you done making your rounds of the town soon?
I may
Because
have
we
to
were planning on
retire.
going.
I may have to retire soon. I must first head to where I go when I collect payment, but I will be back before the sun sets.
My dwarf friend here was very, very much itching for a drink, so I think we would be happy to meet you at the tavern.
That sounds ever so lovely. Just look out for Eric, the barkeep.
Is
I
there
will
something we should know about Eric?
No, just tell him I sent you, and I will let him know before you arrive to keep an eye out for you. We
May I
old
ask a
folks
question?
have a way. Yes, you can.
Any chance you did business with Mary?
Oh yes, fine woman. She has had many, many dream pastures. She wishes to escape the living lands of the living and land and life, but she doesn't have any more children.
How many children did she have?
Only 7. But the sweet escape of perfect bliss in such a hellscape as this. It makes sense why one would buy. And it keeps an old woman like me in business.
A smart trade you have there. Certainly a lot of demand.
So, about that tavern.
Yes, it's out on the main road. I'm sure you've seen it. It's a arrogant building. Lots of light and bliss in such a dreary city as this.
Well, that sounds wonderful.
Shepherd, she beckons you to lean over to her nice, even 5'2" height.
That's one way. Yes, my dear?
So she slips her hand into like her front kind of like lapel within her wrapping around her boobs and pulls out a small coin with a blue star on it, and she gives it to you and she says, "Slide this to Eric. He'll get you the good stuff."
Well, that sounds very tempting. I can't possibly resist an offer like that. Thank you, Morgana.
Yeah, and so then Morgantha will kind of give you like a really like lover's first taste, kiss on the cheek, and then kind of get into gear with her cart heading away with her cart. She's humming a very jaunty, creepy tune as she walks away.
Darmyl whispers, "Does anyone want to see, maybe, like, keep an eye where she's going?" And looks at his armor going, "I'm not good at this."
I would be interested in following her in a small, unnoticeable rodent form, if such a thing were possible.
I'm a little bit worried about that child.
Yeah, I'm surprised none of you went after that at all.
Well, it's a little bit of when in Rome.
Yep. We're new in town.
But it feels really wrong not to do anything.
Yeah.
Well, think of it this way. We're investigating to save the stream of children versus the one in the wagon.
That's pretty much my intent behind connecting with her at the...
Yeah.
I can also, if you want to go, Ember, if you and I want to go, I will stay a little bit further behind and stealth, and you can go a little bit further ahead, and we can just kind of.
I think we should at least get an idea of get some info about like direction and we can think about distance based on time, like how far they're, but keep an eye on this.
I think
Have
that
I?
would be good. Yeah.
Have I seen any small creatures running around this town
Oh
to
yeah,
get a sense
there
for?
are a lot of rats. A lot of
Great.
rats.
I feel like I've definitely seen a lot of rats in my life and could likely easily shapeshift into rat form for my wild shape in order to do some sneaky sleuthing.
I think that's a great idea. If we do split up that way, the three of us could go to the tavern, and if
Yep.
the two of you trailed her, and we could kind of do double duty at that point.
Yeah, scope out the place a little bit. Maybe grab, a beer, see what the place is like.
Calm the dwarf down.
All right. I take one look at my Tabaxi friend and say, just try to control yourself if you would, and shapeshift down to a small furry creature.
Hey, did you see me go after any of those other rats? I'm sorry, they've been all around us.
Yes, absolutely. You've been eating the rats around you, you're saying?
No.
You haven't been
Well, I guess
eating
how
them?
hungry am I?
Very
What?
sneakily, stealthily eating them when no one's looking.
Yeah.
Probably. You might hear me go, hairball.
Give me just 1 minute. Looking up something.
I'm gonna turn and look at Darmyl. Hopefully the tavern doesn't charge us an arm and a leg like Vildreth did.
I'm sure there's more than one tavern in this town in a healthy competition.
I'm gonna step away just to get some water. I'll be right back.
Alright, so we have Ember going one way and then everyone else is going to the tavern, question mark?
I think Serene's also going with Ember, but at a further distance.
Okay.
Yeah, Serene is shadowing her, using her
Yeah.
stealth.
Alright. Well then, so we'll have to do this in 2 parts.
So we'll just walk to the tavern. What in the... There we go. So whatever
Wow,
works
you can't jump
best.
over a house, Sparrow?
I guess jumping over a house would be a little harder than the crawling under it you could probably do.
Such kind words. Alright, so we'll do Ember and Serene first. Ember, I'll have you do a perception.
$11.
Alright, so all you saw was that the old woman that you had just briefly met a moment ago pushed her cart seemingly through a solid door and then followed her into this house over here. But the door never opened, but you didn't see anything past that.
Can I see into the house, see any windows? What is that?
So the house is very large. It is about double the size of your wonderful tour of Death House. This entire house has no windows, is 2 stories tall, and is just brick and mortar. There's no bricked in windows. It is just a solid encased building with no windows, no adornments other than the fact that on the front there's a single 6 foot tall, 4 foot wide door, wide enough to fit a wagon. And atop the kind of the front of the roof at the very peak, there are 2 gargoyles watching kind of guard over the house.
Interesting. I'm gonna look around for my little friend and see if I can't make some chirpy alarm noises.
Swish your tail once if your answer is yes, and twice if it's no. Do we want to get closer to the house?
Single swish.
Okay, then we'll move closer to the house, preferably going around the back to see if there's any doors on the back.
I think I would start to do a perimeter of the house.
All right.
And I would like to keep a special eye out for if there's like any tripwires or anything that might alert someone within the house that we are nearby.
Okay. So but we're avoiding the wall of the house per se.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Look, not touch.
All right. Cool. Can both of you while
also,
you're... Sorry. Go ahead.
Ember, again, same message. Do you want to ride on my shoulder so that you can see higher than just the ground?
Ooh, there's suddenly a small rat literally just shimmying up Serene's clothing.
Huh, okay.
It's fine.
Solid. While you're both skirting the perimeter of the house, can you both make an Arcana check, please?
Two.
8.
Okay. Continue. As you round the back of the house, it is more of the same. You would note that, unlike the front of the house, this side does have a single gargoyle in the middle upon the roof. So there are
Is the gargoyles...
Go ahead.
Does it look like the gargoyle's eyes or head are like tracking us?
It does not look like that, but this is so. To better describe, the front two gargoyles were bipedal creatures, possibly demonic in form, that had horns. The one on the back appears to be a large, kind of like leopard-shaped gargoyle, sitting on kind of its hindquarters, peering just dead-eyed ahead.
Ember, what? Because you have seen likenesses of these creatures, can you turn into them?
I think I would need to see the live creature versus a statue of.
Correct.
So, 2 swishes, got it. And there's like no farmland back here or any...
No, it is a lot of grass. Oh, here's a good one. Perception from both of you.
16.
Okay.
24.
Oh, 24. All right, so 24, not 16. 24. The grass is very kind of sparse. It is green, but it's sparse. But really close to the foundation of the house, the grass that's within like centimeters of the house appears to be singed or charred.
Interesting.
Unless you do anything to indicate that to me, I will not know about it.
There is literally no way to indicate specifically that, in my opinion. But I mean, I'm happy to see rat charades play out, in all honesty.
No. Is there any other indicators of like fire, heat, flame, any soot, anything else at the perimeter of the house that looks interesting?
Nope, not from where you're at. No.
Okay, and I'm just observing silently.
Is the road gravel, or is this like is there a fence here?
Nope. So it's just a paved cobblestone that has kind of a slightly raised, like maybe inch raised, kind of border to keep weeds and stuff from growing within it. It's doing a bad job of keeping the weeds out, but that's the intent.
Ember, do we want to step on the road, or are we worried that would alert Morgantha? So, yes or no answer. Do we step on the road?
Single swish. Yes.
We'll go here.
Yep, everything's just fine. It's just a road.
Ember's gonna start, like, chirping her little nose towards town, squeaking a little bit.
All right. We'll go into town and eventually find our folks. But I realize that's going to take some time. So we're here until we're not, until we're in the waiting in the wings.
Yep. All right, so the other three of you have gone into the tavern by this point, yes?
Yes.
All right, let's do that then. Upon entering, there's a single shaft of light thrusting illumination into the main hall. The brightness looks kind of like a solid pillar. Even the inside of this house building tavern kind of has that same heavy fog atmosphere. There's a sign that you notice just passing under it and into the building that says the Blood of the Vine Tavern. As you enter, there is a hearth blazing nearby. You can hear the sound of the crackling fire from around the corner nearby. Further within, there is a single cloaked feminine figure standing behind a kind of counter greeting area as you directly walk in.
Hey.
I walk up to that counter area and just say, "Good afternoon." It's probably afternoonish.
Yes, it's afternoon. What do you want?
We
do you have coin?
We do have coin.
Do you have coin?
We do have
Do you
coin.
need rooms?
Actually,
You're here for rooms?
I need to speak with the bartender. I was told to speak with Eric, the barkeep.
Alright.
Morgantha.
Alright, name dropping. You can go that way. She points you towards the bar area. She draws her longsword and stops you from going any further, Darmyl. She hasn't approved you to pass it.
Oh, but Darmyl's with me. We were speaking with Morgantha together.
Yep. Oh. I mean, she obviously didn't say Darmyl, you can't go because she doesn't know your name. I'm just saying that's what she did. Yep, he doesn't have the pass.
He doesn't have the what?
The pass. I sense the pass is on you, but I do not sense the pass on him.
I have no words for you, Darmyl. I apologize.
What if you walk over to the bar and then throw it back to me?
I have to give it to the barkeep, though. I can't. Can I?
No, you have to go to the barkeep. So she does have her longsword out, and she did use it to, like, flat of the blade stop you from moving along in front of Shepard. So she did kind of bump you with it. She's holding it in place, and she is eyeing you up and down, sizing you up, Darmyl.
Mm-hmm. Probably doesn't take too long, huh?
Name's Mirabelle. I think I can take you. Over here, other side of the counter.
I'm Darmyl Fireforge, and I'm not
there, right
happy
now.
to get separated from my party.
You'll be happy when I tell you to be happy. No one's happy in the tavern here. Take your stance, sir.
I don't like you taking away my agency.
Take your stance. Okay. She puts an arm out, leans forward against the counter, and puts a hand up, ready for an arm wrestling match against you.
Darmyl is instantly grasping. knows exactly what's going on. Suddenly, the entire demeanor changes.
All right, roll me a percentage.
A percentage.
Yeah.
Right, we did this intentionally so that we could actually see these and know that I'm not just making it up. That's a good 14%.
Ah, yeah, she slams you down. No effort at all. Told you I could take you. All right, you're good. You can go in.
Best 2 out of 3.
Very well. I win again. You owe me. Same thing, percentage.
All right, Darmyl's fine with this. Feels this is the first friendly person in town that he's met. 55.
You take her down this time. She smiles. Her just like there's like a sense of like a presence shift. She kind of like loosens up a little bit. The rigidness of her shoulder. She gets more comfortable. Oh yeah, I see what you're saying. 2 out of 3 it is. She puts her hand up again.
Grabs it.
All right, percentage.
21.
She gets you again. I've bested yet another man. Proof that women are the superior species.
You just see Darmyl nodding approval.
All right, you are free to go in. Since I beat you, you owe me a drink later. I'll collect on that soon. But I must attend to your friend first.
Sounds
Sparrow,
quite all right.
She looks over at you. I know your type. I know what you are. So I've got a deal for you. I will give you free room and board tonight if you can best me at one of my favorite pastimes. Do you see over there on that
raise
wall?
an eyebrow.
Over there on that wall, do you see that spot? That perfect sliver spot right there in the middle of the wall? And you do. It's like there's kind of a hole starting to form in the wall. You best me. And you hit that spot with, and as she says with, she pulls out 2 throwing hand axes. Axe thrown. I'll comp your room tonight.
I can't resist the urge to throw things.
So she immediately pulls one of them, chucks it behind her head, hurls it at the wall, and nails it directly in the spot she was pointing at. And then she hands you the other the other throwing axe, and steps out of your way.
I'm probably going to lose, but I get to throw an axe, so I am still winning.
Throw a percentage.
Oh, jeez, if I can remember how to do that. Trying. Failing. I need to roll a 100, right?
Yep.
What is it? There we go. 40.
You got 40. All right, Sparrow. As you throw, in the spirit of the game, you're really you do enjoy throwing stuff, no?
I love throwing things, especially axes.
You throw this in such a perfected art that you actually slit the wood of the handle and embed yours directly in the center of the handle of the axe that's embedded in the wall. And there's just like applause nearby from the woman who had challenged you. And as I said, and so she turns to you and pulls out from under her cloak a coin with a silver star on it. Like I said, and she hands it to you. All drink, all food, and board for the night is comped. You are free to enter.
Oh. Thank you, Maribel. It's been fun.
Welcome to the Blood on the Vine Tavern.
I'm gonna saunter up to my 2 friends over here, just kind of staring at the coin in my hand. Is the coin shiny?
It is very shiny, and the silver on it is kind of like You know those stickers you got in young kid school that were very reflective?
Yes.
It's one of those.
Magpie tendencies take over. I'm just fixated on the coin.
All
Excuse me,
right.
Barkeep. Your name
Barkeep.
Eric?
Barkeep is Eric.
I was asking him if his name was Eric.
Hi there. Name's Eric.
Eric, Morgantha sent me. Well, she
Ah.
sent all of us. But she gave me this.
Ah, I see. So you're one of them.
I'm one of what?
I didn't know she'd hired any new muscle by the looks of you.
Oh, interesting. Well. Okay. That's me. I'm her hired hand.
Well, that's good. It's probably hard work for her to mill all by herself. Anyways, can I get you a drink?
Yes.
The dwarf would like a drink.
All right. So the figure nearby is drinking a kind of just a mug of very flat level, non-bubbly, non-frothy liquid. Very clear, you know, it's not a wooden glass, it's a glass. It's very clear that it's just a very solid color, uniform liquid that she's pushing back. The bartender, Eric, sets down the glass he's been cleaning with a towel, very filthy, dirty towel, sets the glass down on the counter, bends over, and then from like one of the bottom shelves, you hear like a series of locks and like twisting sounds and other locks and another lock and then a big giant like wooden creak as he opens this chest, and then he shuts the chest and there's a bunch of lock sounds clicking shut. And he sets this very large like 2 quarts of liquid on the counter in front of you, Darmyl and Shepherd. It's in a very darkened green container. It looks kind of like gasoline in color. So you're here for the good stuff.
Darmyl, eyes as big as dinner plates, is just slowly nodding his head.
All right. He picks up a couple of glasses from under the bar and sets them in front of both of you.
I'm going to put my hand over the top of it because I don't drink.
I insist. You're a Blue Star guest. You have to have at least one. And there's a small fellow behind you, too. Kind of a third glass?
I will absolutely take one.
All right, whips out a third glass. Opens the liquid, unstoppers it. Swirls it a whole bunch. As he swirls it, bubbles and carbonation start to rise, and a large, thick froth start to kind of literally pour out of the bottle, just kind of sloshing down the sides as he smiles and pours it into the 3 glasses for y'all. So like I said, the liquid is alcohol in color and content. As soon as he started swirling it and the froth started to form, the liquid turned into a very light blue color. He poured it out and it continues to remain blue and very frothy.
Would I have ever seen this before?
No, unless you've been in Barovia before.
I mean, Darmyl grabs his glass and races it to Shep and Sparrow, and just lifts it up and like he's waiting for everyone else to toast.
Okay, I'll grab mine too.
I'll toast with him, but I'm gonna wait for him to drink it first.
I'll drink mine with you, Darmyl. You ready?
So yeah, I mean, I don't slam the whole thing, but I say, to new friends in totally not creepy villages, and cheers and just, take a drink and sort of set it down. brace
Sounds
myself.
great. Drink mine. In fact, I'm gonna take a drink now.
Alright, so both of you, can you roll a d4, please?
The
Are you gonna tell
Caltrops
me
looking
how
one.
drunk it is?
I'm terrified of ever stepping on there. 3.
Legos are still more painful. Shepard?
3.
Both of you got 3s?
Mm-hmm.
Alright, you were just A-okay. It was a really good drink. The bartender's smiling as you drink it, and he pours himself one as well. He's kind of looking at you expectantly, Sparrow.
I'll drink mine after seeing nothing happen to those two.
Alright, roll a d4.
Blue liquid's a little suspicious. Four.
4? Alright. Nothing happens to you either. It's just good, yummy, beautiful liquid. The bartender drinks his. Still smiling. Same thing, just a very good drink all around. You'll have to tell your friends, if you have any, to come and try the blue hopped scotch sometime. It's the best we have to offer here in the Village of Barovia.
I do like that name. What's it made out of?
Blueberries, hops, and the best scotch in town.
The beer, blueberries, and scotch. Interesting.
I
So-
just nod my head in approval. I do like blueberries.
Yes, the
And
froth,
scotch.
the froth comes from a creme. A very nice creme. It would be a cream, but our egg produce hasn't been very great as of late.
Was there anything else of interest in just the main area here?
So there is the person drinking next to you looking forlorn and depressed.
Aww. I'm gonna turn to this person and say hello.
Hello,
How are you?
I'm alive today. How are you?
I'm alive as well.
So it seems you're adequate, as I, too, am adequate.
What are you drinking?
Sadness in a cup, it feels like. Do you want some?
Sure, I would be happy to share.
She just kind of like shoves her glass in your direction, the one she's been drinking out of.
Okay.
Here.
Thank you.
Yes.
Do I need to roll something?
It's sadness. Yeah, you can roll a d6.
I got a deuce.
Oh, wait.
A 2.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Just a very low profile, kind of bland but slightly nutty beer.
I don't drink very often, but that has a very nutty, flavorful taste. Thank you for sharing.
Yes. Thank you for sharing.
I'm Shepherd.
Alenka.
Olinka. Nice to meet you.
Meeting people is nice too, until they're gone. Forever. Again. Always.
right
Doesn't
as they
happen
say
very
always,
often.
I overhearing this go, "Hey, I'm Darmyl," and then go right back to my drink.
I'll lock that away, and the heroes who were never seen or heard from again catalog of my brain.
And with that, I turn and go, "So, Eric, tell me about Barovia."
Well, there once was this man who appeared from the fog into the land of Barovia. His name was Dram the Tankard. Best, liveliest, and as she's like speaking about it, like kind of just gets like happier and dreamy. Most gorgeous eyes I'd ever seen on a male dwarf in my life. He hailed from some far-off region I've never heard of. But alas, Strahd took him from me as well, as so many others that I've come across in my travels.
Broad, you say?
Yes. Every time I find a dwarf to fill the gaping hole in my heart and thighs is removed from me by force from our overlord.
Art, tell me more about this overlord.
I can't.
Darmyl badly tries to give a more sort of enticing look and says, "Can't or won't?"
If you value your life, I'd tone it down a little if I were you.
Well, since I do value my life, I'm pleased to have made your acquaintance, and cheers.
Very sad.
She sidesteps to get further away from you. What are you doing right now, Sparrow?
I'm just kind of fixated on my drink and my shiny coin.
All right. Well,
We are a magpie.
as you are gazing at your beautiful your shinies, and Alenka has stepped away. As Alenka steps away, the front doors of the tavern squeak open, and two travelers enter. Or what should I say? A wonderful cat-like woman and a mouse perched on her shoulder appear.
I think that this rat is going to jump down and sneak past our host and sniff around the bar.
Okay. Another rat, whatever. Ah, a guest. Welcome. I am Mirabelle of the Sisters 3. An owner of the bar, you could say.
Who are the other sisters?
My sister Alenka drinks herself to a stupor every night, and Sorvia is a pyromaniac. So it's left to me to run the business.
Aha. Sisters are troublesome types.
They're family.
And trouble. They can be both.
So what brings you here, specifically?
I see my... Do I see my friends in the other
sure
room? I see my friends over there, and I'd like to join them if possible.
I see. But why are you here?
Why am I here? Well, I was transported in a way that I don't understand to your interesting town. And,
You'll find it's more than a town. It's a country. And it's all very interesting.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. And while I don't know those folk over there well, they are the only ones that I've actually spent much time with and would rather not be by myself.
Okay. And
I would like to enter your bar.
Have you
Tavern?
Have you seen Madame Eva first?
No.
Okay.
Can we hear this, by the way?
You can roll if you hear it. I mean, it's only like 20, 30 feet away.
I did meet Morgantha.
Ugh. That is a name that I am remiss to hear again.
Me too.
It's bad enough to feed people information that's untrue. It's another thing entirely to abduct children for treats. The audacity.
Are they treats for her or for someone else?
She dallies and wears. But no, I like I said, do look out for Madame Eva.
I will.
She will set you on your path. I sense greatness from you, so I shan't hinder you from following in the tracks of your allies.
Thank you. I will slowly, like a cat, watch her as I move through the space.
As
step
you
at a
do
time.
that, since you're watching her, why don't you do a perception?
Oh, it was almost a 20, but it's a 2. Wait, no, that was a 5. Sorry, 5.
Okay. You hear her mutter something under her breath as you leave earshot.
I flick my tail.
You hear a gasp.
From her?
From her.
I'll flick it again.
She sees you have reacted to her, so she turns her back to you hurriedly.
I will scurry over to the bar.
Ah, I see there are more. Shall I bring more glasses out? You've paid for your drink, and there's a lot of drink to be had yet.
Another round!
Pulls out 2 more glasses. Proceeds to fill all 5 with the blue liquid.
Does he know that there's 5?
He can see all of them. He is standing.
Even though one's a rat?
Actually, let me... No, he pours an additional. He does not know the rat is with you. I apologize, I had forgotten.
Before, this is perfect though, because before Ember, sort of seeing this empty glass and knowing that there's only 4 of us, I grab the extra one and start to bring it towards Mirabelle to settle up my debt.
Ah, okay.
And just say sort of like BRB to the group.
Okay. Proceeds to pour a drink for Serene. Without knowing her name, obviously.
I will take a dainty sip.
Alright, take a dainty sip and roll a d4.
Is it the blue hopscotch?
Mm-hmm.
That, my dear friends, is a 1.
Oh, okay. So, like your mouth, like your lips and the inside of your mouth and your teeth all turn a very dark shade of blue.
I flick my tongue like a cat.
Yeah, and like you personally can't see this because of where your eyes are in relation to your mouth, but anyone looking at you will see this. The bartender smiles very, very big in your direction.
I'll just, because I don't know what's happening, I'll just smile back.
Serene. I'm across the bar, so I'm whispering loudly, which, of course, is probably not. It's very loud. Serene.
What?
Your mouth is blue.
Interesting. People pay a lot for that in my hometown.
Oh boy. Mirabelle sees you approaching, Darmyl.
Figured I'd settle up now. I set the blue hopscotch down and one of my own.
Ah, yes. I do appreciate the gesture. This is one of my favorite drinks.
Well, it's one of my first times having it, but I've taken a definite liking to it. This is a nice spot you got here.
Ah, thank you. It has been in the family for all of 3 moons.
3 moons?
Yes.
Well, if you'll pardon me, I'm not from around here. What's that in like days?
Oh, so the moon is always out, you see, due to the environment our benevolent Lord bestows upon us. I suppose in the ancient lore of the old times, it could be the equivalent of 300 years.
Wow.
Wow, your family's been in Barovia for that long?
Everyone in Barovia has been in Barovia that long.
I was gonna say they look pretty good for 300 years old.
Well, it doesn't mean they're 300 years old. It just means it's been in their family for 300 years.
Oh, okay. I misunderstood that.
And so, did I hear that you were one of a couple of sisters?
Ah, yes. My sister over there points towards Alenka. She drinks her sorrows away from the love lost. And that one points at the woman you've walked past a few times in a chair nearby. That's Sorvia. She's a little, what's the word? Special. Not special. Broken. I don't remember the word. At any rate, she once saw fire burn and raze the village to the ground, and has always stared into the flames, hungry for more, whatever that means.
Darmyl, looking very slightly terrified, but doing his best to steal it, says, so, what, if everyone's been here this whole time, why so many rooms in a tavern? I hear you've adventured and heroes come through often?
Ah, yes, you see, our great and benevolent Lord Strahd, who loves his playthings, his people. He loves his people. Will occasionally invite, air quotes, she does air quotes, invites heroes to go up against him in a kind of a brawl of sorts. He likes to test them and their skills and their sleuthing. And most heroes just are not up for that type of task these days.
You say most, do some succeed?
Well, I can assure you of this. Had any succeeded, I would not still be running this tavern.
I'm gonna say really loudly from the bar. Does that mean that you're all here until somebody succeeds?
So the Eric standing near you is still cleaning glasses, kind of absent-mindedly, and as soon as you say this out loud, he actually drops the glass, and just kind of everyone kind of immediately around you freezes. Him and the lady at the end of the bar, they just kind of go stop still, and he drops the glass, and there's just like the silence in the air where if there were crickets you would hear them, but it's just a dead silence as an answer.
Oh, okay. I guess that's answer enough.
I turn back to Mirabelle hearing this and go, I just met them. And then sort of gesturing back to my group back there, and say, so about this Strahd, is that a family relation, possibly?
To me, no. He He is my benevolent lord, and I serve him to the best of my abilities.
So what else is interesting to do in Barovia? You know, we've seen the tavern. We had a stop by the shops. You know, we obviously had a chance to meet Morganth. Sort of what's someone new in town? What should I make sure not to miss? You know, is there a local cuisine? Is there a playhouse or something?
A playhouse in Barovia. I knew I liked something about you, but it must be your humor. I don't know. I mean, specifically, what are you looking for?
Well, like, what do you do for? I don't want to say fun, so I'll say when you're not here.
But I am always here, sir. The streets are unsafe at night.
What makes them unsafe?
Oh, just the hundreds of undead that prowl the streets at night. The potential abductions from a vampire who's gone rogue. Those that are looking to become the thrall of vampires will throw themselves at the feet of vampires, begging for a merciful, benevolent benefactor for their dreams and successions. And so I just stay put inside, here, where it's safe. And we do have a warm, hot bath here. Natural hot springs runs under this tavern, so even though I'm indoors, I do like to go for a wet time, so to speak.
Wow, that's with where I'm from, I enjoy the heat, so I'd love to hear more about where I could find these hot springs.
Oh no, they're below the earth upon which we are built upon. They are. She points down towards a nearby hall, kind of around the corner over there. There's a private bath and there's a group bath. The group bath is free. The private bath is private.
How does one get access to the private bath?
It depends on what you need it for. But I will tell you this.
Well, I'll be honest, I have a whole new number of questions about what could be done in a private bath now. I really assumed that was kind of just one thing.
Let me tell you this, sir. If you can take off all of those layers of armor, I'll leave the private bath open tonight. I can show you what one can do in a private bath.
Well, that sounds like a plan. You see Darmyl looking slightly more awkwardly and downing the rest of his beverage.
All right. Well, I shall keep you to that.
All right. Say if someone wanted to get a bite to eat in this town, is this pretty much, would you say, the only spot?
I would say it's the best spot.
Alrighty. Well, I appreciate all of this information, and I'll look forward to getting to try out this tavern's hot baths.
Yes, they are something to behold, I guarantee.
Alrighty. So with that, Darmyl tries not to overstay his welcome, and starts to head back to his group.
Alright, group, were you all doing anything else while Darmyl had been away?
Did Ember find anything out?
Sorry, go ahead.
Ember, who has just been sniffing around the bar.
Ember, who's been sniffing around the bar, there were 2 rats nearby who were very interested in you. Both of them know you're not a rat, but seem keen on interacting with you.
Interesting. Well, I tried to strike up a small game of tag with my rat fellows, and was taking an interlude from any serious discussion at the time.
Alright. You are it for tag. Roll a d12. 10. You are still it for tag. Roll a percentile.
Roll a what?
Percentile.
8.
You are still it for tag. These are very fast rats, apparently. Alright, the other 3 of you are doing what?
I'd like to... Or sorry, Shepard, go ahead. Shepard, I think I interrupted you before, so
No,
I'll let you go.
yeah, I was just saying that I was watching that entire awkward conversation between Darmyl and Mirabelle because it was funny.
Alright, that totally tracks. And there was no secrecy or hiding of it, and was definitely in earshot.
Yep.
And Sparrow?
I'm watching Ember play tag.
Ah, that is adorable. 3 rats playing tag with each other, and one of them is losing horrifically. Serene, what are you up to?
Cleric. The shopkeep said that adventurers come through and then they go missing. What are the adventurers generally trying to do? Or like, are they similar to us where they just arrive surprisingly out of nowhere? Like, how does this town work is my question.
Well, you see, the last group of heroes we had were a half-elf, a tiefling, some sort of bard who was very cloaked, a weird stabby stab who I believe was a half-elf, and a human of all creation kind. Before that, we had a group that was 3 tieflings and 2 clerics of an indiscriminate race. It was really hard to tell. Dragonborn, possibly kobold, hard to say. People come and go so quickly, it's hard to keep track. Does that answer your question?
Are there things that they're trying to do?
I don't know what any of them have tried to do, because they all seem to be after different things, bizarre as that is. So there really doesn't seem to be a rhyme or reason, but I do know one thing that they've all shared in common. At first told, soon after their arrival, they had a visit or sought out Madame Eva.
Is there, knowing that you can't leave this tavern until something happens, and also acknowledging that my brain is a little bit not with us right now, what is the thing that needs to happen for you guys to be able to leave your tavern?
I am not at liberty to disclose. I do know, but I do value my life more than I value telling you.
Who would know?
Who could?
What was that, Shepard?
Who would know, but who could tell us?
I believe your answers lie in those with the cards.
Great, so where's Madame?
Nora.
I would advise, since it is coming towards the end of the day, that you do stay the night instead of becoming a feast for those outside.
I could get on board with that.
Well, if you do decide to stay the night, and instead of becoming a feast for those outside, I'm happy to prepare a humble meal for each of you tonight with our other patrons of this tavern. I do wish to make it clear that if you eat the food, you must stay the night. I can't be wasting food and supply on those who are going to become food for someone else.
Hey, don't be like that. You were upset when she did that.
Fair.
All right. Well, I will get to cooking. Y'all just enjoy your time. Stay safe. Stay indoors. Cooking noises. All right. Well,
There any,
before we continue, we are going to pause here and take a short break. Alrighty, we are back. So we are looking at a little bit of a wait for the food. While you guys wait on the food, there are in fact 5 vacant rooms that you guys can utilize, depending on how you want to spend your evenings.
I'd like to spend it long resting.
Before I go to bed, and it's fine if we delay this for a second, I would like to at least say hi to Barovia. I think the name was the last sister.
Yeah, she's by the hearth, staring at the flames crackling.
Unless someone else had eyes to do that, I want to jump in line.
I'm gonna claim the room that I'm in front of.
All right.
Am I supposed to go into a particular room, or am I still waiting for...
Nope, you could grab any of them, I believe.
Alright.
I will take this one.
Oh, there's people down here.
Yes, there are in fact people there.
Alright, well, I'm gonna take this end room, but I'm gonna come over and say hello to this person here. Looks like an elf.
It is a human woman just hanging out having a drink.
Just has pointy ears.
Yep. But she's a half elf, sorry.
Okay. Hello.
Hi, hello there.
We haven't seen very many people in town here. How are you?
I'm alive and well. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. Are you from Barovia?
I am. My family has been here for many, 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 many generations. Are you from Barovia?
I'm not.
Ah, that does track. I do believe I'd remember seeing someone of your stance, build, and race.
I'm not quite sure how to take that, but maybe thank you.
You're welcome.
So what do you do in this town?
I avoid getting eaten. I throw crumbs at the beggars. I make guillotines for fun. I help the priest at the church with circumcision. Just, normal hobbies.
Wait. You make guillotines for fun? Like little ones or big ones?
Yeah, I make little ones, collectibles, to slice off the heads of dolls. Yes. Long-time family heirloom trade.
Okay, wait. I have this. I'm gonna pull out from my pouch my porcelain doll and the guillotine.
So when you go to grab the porcelain doll, it is dust. However, the guillotine is not.
Door.
I am dead serious. It's dust where the doll was, but the guillotine's still intact.
Okay, all right. My doll was cut in half anyway. It's now done. I found this. Did you make this?
I did not, but I recognize the craftsmanship. This was my great-grandfather's. You can tell because of the etchings here and here. She points to where there's a small letter N on the very base of it and one of the feet on the inside. And then there's also on the blade kind of a metal cutting etching of the lowercase letter N.
What was your grandfather's name?
His name was Eustace.
Eustace. And your last name?
Evermore?
What's the N stand for?
Never.
Nevermore. I misheard that.
No, it's Evermore.
Ever. I'm very confused.
Oh,
And
it's
Evermore,
it's,
Nevermore?
No. It's part of the family trade secret. But I, looking at you, don't feel like I'm in threat of telling you such secrets. But the N stands for never. It's a family enchantment. It ensures that even with damage and time, never is when this object will cease to exist.
Interesting.
We
Well,
we do craft our craftings to be ever more perfect.
What else do you craft?
Oh, just, blades, daggers, magical swords, whatever I feel at the time and have the resources to make.
Interesting. So, do you collect unusual swords that you would be interested in? Or I shouldn't say unusual, but
I do
have anything
not.
to
I do
sell?
not. I do not
Oh, you
sell.
knew what I was going to sell.
I do not sell. And I do not buy.
Do you trade?
I do not trade. I am not in the business of business. I do have family in another village who do, in fact, do business.
Oh, but they're not here. And the workmanship of you and your family is fantastic. Look at this. Look at
Yes,
this
it is.
guillotine.
You'll find my father still at his craft, assuming he's still alive in the city of Kresk.
Okay. I see. And what was your name again? You're an Evermore, right?
I am an Evermore. I didn't say my name. It's Bernice.
I apologize. Bernice. Oh, that's a lovely name. What is your father's name?
I don't remember. It's been many a year since I've seen him.
Are you like many of the people in town? You've been alive for a very long time.
I haven't been alive that long.
Oh,
I'm only
about
approaching my
300
140th birthday.
140th birthday. Okay. Well, it's been wonderful talking to you, and I could tell you that this guillotine, and I'm gonna tuck it back in my pouch here, is an incredibly amazing piece of craftsmanship, and I am very, very
Thank
happy
you,
to
and I'm glad you picked talking me over him. Points at the guy in the corner. Nobody ever wants to talk to him. And for good reason, too. I wouldn't be called the lesser if I was an important person.
Okay. Well, and I'm just gonna kind of back away from her.
It was a pleasure. Use my guillotine, do the Lord's service, circumcise your friends. Toodle-doo.
Work. She was a piece of work. I don't know if you can actually hear me, Ember, but she was a piece of work.
Alright, Darmyl, you're greeting this other person. Right?
Yep. So I'm gonna walk up over to the fire, walk up over here, and just walk up and say, "Beautiful fire, huh?"
Yes. We should burn it all down. You're right.
Yes, yeah. They do quite a wood supply here. It would be great to see what happens and how long the fire would last if we carefully and slowly dispersed it into it.
Yes, if we burn the village of Barovia down, it'll burn for days.
Well, yeah, but
you're right.
We could
it would be better if people were still in it.
That may be true. On the other hand, what if we
use both hands to make a fire?
No, but we could just calmly watch this one in silence and not touch it.
I never touch the fire. It burns. And then she holds up her hands and they're just like very scarred from fire damage and scarring. I tried to hug it, but it didn't hug me back.
Well, yeah, that's it's an interesting approach to fire. So, yeah, well, I'll leave you be. Sorry to interrupt your night. I just wanted to warm myself, and yeah, I hope you have a good rest of your evening. As I slowly and calmly, yet rapidly and decisively back away.
Okay.
And sort of catch eyes with Maribel here as I'm heading towards one of the unclaimed rooms. I kind of lost the plot on what's open, so
Okay.
I go to one of the ones I clearly know is open
Whichever one that is.
to claim as I sort of see the rest of the group.
Yeah, this one's mine here.
I think maybe this one? I don't know.
Okay.
Darmyl's fine with whatever room that he clearly knows
No,
is
I'm-
his.
Curious. We need to talk to this guy because she didn't want us to talk to this guy. She said he was a loser.
Wait,
Ember
who said
squeaks.
that guy's a loser?
Ember squeaking.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna kind of gently wrap my knuckles on the table here.
Oh, friends.
Hello.
I wish I had more chairs. Feel free to sit down and join me. Good company is something hard to come by here in Barovia, and I'm always welcome a new story from a traveler.
Is Ember sitting on the table?
Yep. Just hops up right in the middle of the table. Direct eye contact.
Fucking cute. Sorry, so cute.
He
So
invited.
you have.
I see you have friends amongst you with peculiar abilities. That could be useful to me.
Indeed. To you.
Yes.
How
I am willing to pay you in endless wine. You see, my family, for many generations, has run the vineyard.
I'm sorry. Pause just a second. Pause just a second. Darmyl.
Darmyl heads on over and was very intently listening, and her, as soon as the word wine was said, was sort of, there was an ear glued to it, and it grabs one of the chairs and just sits right up next to the table.
Yes, my family has long run all of the vineyards across Barovia, and I could give you a full lifetime, however long your lives may be, supply of wine for your duration in Barovia, and make sure your cups always overflow with the juiciest and the best of wine during your stay. Of course, for the price. I just need you to protect my sister.
2 questions. One, can I try this wine?
Absolutely.
First, you know if it's worth getting into this.
He pulls out a flask from his coat, unstoppers it. It's this one right here. As soon as he unstoppers it, you smell this beautiful, very fragrant, rosy, and kind of grape-filled scent fill the air.
I reach behind me and grab a clean, empty cup from the table that just so happened to be there, and hold it out to get a little bit of the wine.
Yeah, that works. He pours you a swig.
All right, I try the wine. Please don't be dead.
It is divine. It's the kind that you want to swirl in your mouth a bit before swallowing.
All right. Second question is, when do we? I mean, what is this price you're talking about?
I just require that you take my sister Irina with you in your travels and always protect her during your time in Barovia.
So
What was your
where
name
is
again,
your
chap?
sister?
I missed it. I was over at the other table, not eavesdropping at all.
My name is Islark, and it is my goal to remove my sister Irina from the watchful eye of Strahd here in the village of Barovia. I believe if you escort her to the city of Valaki, in the heart of the valley. It'll be beyond his view and his reach. And I believe at that point, if you're willing to escort her to that destination, you can deliver her to the doorstep of our protectors, and you will be out of debt to me. And I will continue to uphold my bargain and provide you with wine from all of our vineyards across the lands for your time here.
On that, that's sort of a question to be that we had. Does the wine start before or after the rescuing starts?
The rescuing starts immediately if you take the job. I'll escort you to my property, and you can take her from here to Villaki. However, the wine won't come until I know she's safe and the deed is done.
Wow. Well, Sort of a question to see. What about starting in the morning at the earliest, say the crack at noon?
Yes, that sounds beautiful.
Okay.
I had intended on going through the alleys back to the house tonight, but I think I can wait till morning.
And for the record, this is not solely mine to decide. I have a group of, shall we say, fellow travelers, several of which you may have noticed here. So I would just really, you can think of me the vetting committee more than anything. So yeah, I need to make sure we discuss this as a group. This is an interesting proposition that we'll take under advisement.
I appreciate you at least considering it. And as he says this, he pulls a dagger out and twirls it between his fingers, just like rolls it between his fingers, kind of just shuffling it around and moving it and doing all sorts of really fancy hand tricks, showing that he's got a good proficiency and expertise wielding a dagger.
And as he does that, he sees Darmyl just sort of bopping the warhammer that's sitting right next to him with his foot very easily, sort of jostling it around and looking at his large robotic friend.
Yeah, I mean, he's not doing this menacingly or threateningly. He's just doing it out of habit.
Yep, there's Darmyl.
Oh, okay.
So my question for you is, young man, it appears you have some skill, at least juggling a blade. How are you not able to protect your sister?
Because I am but one man. And you are some men and some women, by the appearance of it.
Ember squeaks.
Some might say some rodents as well.
I know your friend here isn't all they seem to be. I rolled really high on my perception check.
Well, it was great to meet you, and yeah, let us reconnect with our some of our compatriots here, and we'll let you know sort of when we can get this all going.
That sounds marvelous.
Hey. Are we waiting for anything else in here right now?
No, not specifically, because as you are sitting at the table near there, the bartender, Eric, comes out with platters of food and sets them all on the long table Serene and Sparrow are on.
Okay.
The house special for the guests of the house. So he places down before you 5 plates of food. Yes, 5. And each plate has a single potato, a hunk of meat, and a piece of hard bread.
He had said if we eat we have to stay the night. I don't want to go out with the zombies or whatever is out there. However, I do want to look at the food and see if there's anything that has been spelled upon it or anything that we should be concerned about. I mean, we already drank the drink. You know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Can I perceive my food or arcana my food?
Yeah, you can perceive it.
$14.
Seems to be regular food. Not good quality, but regular.
You see the small rat just taking big bites out of a potato that is almost as large as it is.
That is a true statement. Goes into a pocket dimension known as your stomach.
I'm just gonna mush things up on the plate because I don't really need to eat it, and it's difficult for my creature type to expunge.
Yeah.
Darmyl just kind of dives in.
Is there any art on the wall, or the question had been placed, are there any windows? Is it dark out yet?
So there are windows. There's a window on this side of the room, and then there's also a window over here near this door. They are boarded up from the inside, tightly. So there's like slivers of moonlight shining in from this side over here. Other than that, there are no windows other than up kind of towards the ceiling. There's a large circular glass window that kind of has a... I'll have you roll an arcana as you perceive the window up there.
9.
It's a window, but it, for some reason, doesn't appear to be shattered or damaged.
When I'm done eating, I do want to ask... I'll ask the lady at the front. Her name was Mirabelle. What the creatures in the cloaks were that were moving around while we were out there?
Oh, sure. So her response to you is that it is the villagers of Barovia, of the Village of Barovia.
Say that again?
They are just the villagers who live here.
Okay, but when I grabbed one, the cloak went slack and there was nothing underneath it.
Well, it's the villagers of Barovia and the ghosts of the villagers of Barovia.
Ah, okay. And can I look out one of the windows just to see if I can see the undead that they speak of?
Yeah, you can get up near a window and peer out of it. What's your passive?
9.
I'll have you roll it then.
Wait, passive perception?
Yeah, 13.
13.
Yeah, so yeah, you can see out the window and like on the street there's like these just kind of like one leg at a time kind of shambling creatures that are humanoid walking in kind of a processional down the street.
Okay. And then was there any art in the tavern?
As far as art, there are 2 paintings. One of them is on this wall right here, and then there is one behind the bartender. Sorry, I did not draw attention to that before.
Anything that we should know about those, or
So
that we should personally...
the painting here is of this large windmill atop a hill, and behind the bartender is a formidable castle painting behind a series of trees kind of obscuring part of its view.
The last thing that I want to do before I go to bed, unless someone else sparks something, is I would like to do a quick painting of the windmill and the castle together.
Okay. Like you want to just paint them on your own material?
Yep.
Okay. Yep.
I have painting supplies. It is part of my background.
Yep. Absolutely. Can do that.
Do I need to roll anything for that or no?
If it's a background item, we're going to call it a sleight of hand at an advantage.
Man, that advantage was so much better. 19.
Okay,
Nice.
yeah. So you're able to, like, almost perfectly copy them, but with your own artistic flourishes, of course.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Anyone else before off to beddings? All right.
Darmyl would just as I'm going to bed in the room. I clearly know where it is. I'm gonna take the long way and just kind of take a gander at the rooms that were gestured to earlier by Mirabelle.
Okay.
You know, sort of like, you know, kind of peeking the door, sort of like when you're traveling and checking out a like pool.
Yep. Yep. So this is the public bath, and there is a patron in there with her back to you, and she's completely nude.
Okay. Darmyl awkwardly closes the door and kind of backs out and heads over to the next door.
As you do, are you opening the door?
Yeah, I was gonna at least try it.
All right. So the door is unlocked. The head of a figure is sticking out of the water.
Can I roll perception to see what the heck's sticking out of the water?
It is a woman.
Okay.
So I guess the insight is that the figure of Mirabelle before was a cloaked figure with a face mask on and a long flowing dress down to the feet. And so this is a figure of a woman with the exact same build as Mirabelle, with the same exact eyes and eyebrows, but the rest of the body is revealed as well.
Ah.
Yes.
I think Darmyl awkwardly says, "Oh, apologies," and just steps out and goes to step outside.
I thought you were joining me, sir. We have far too many layers on. You should be more comfortable if you're going to enjoy the warm water.
Darmyl, and those moments I remember some of the scores I rolled, says, "Yup," and doffs his armor, which I think is just an action, so it's not like an awkward amount of time.
It is an awkward amount of time.
Well, there we are. thought I could just kind of cruise right through. So in an awkward amount of time, but I sort of doffed my armor, not fully nude. And importantly,
just getting down to your garments under the heavy armor is a 5-minute endeavor.
So I want to be clear, awkward small talk the entire time.
Of course.
But sort of once I do, I sort of lay my armor in as ready as heavy armor can be laid. But also sort of make sure I leave the warhammer in a way that I could sort of very, very easily get to it. And then sort of just sit on the edge of the pool and put my dwarven feet in.
Okay. Yeah, it's like the perfect temperature. Like the perfect temperature. It's like nice, hot, steamy. Has some of those smelling soaps in it. Probably like a bath bomb type thing going on here.
I think I just make a sort of that very exasperated sigh when you finally get to relax at the end of a long day that involved the literal death house, and just sort of lean back a little bit and go, just like, oh, that was a long day.
And you just hang out for a little bit then.
Yeah.
Okay. We will.
And continue the small talk and chatting with Mirabelle and.
Roll me a charisma.
Okay. +2. That's a 7.
Oh, okay. Well, she does not invite you to her room tonight. And you also do not learn anything new from conversation with her. It's all surface level small talk.
Seems pretty fitting. Fair. So yeah, after sort of relaxing for a little while, and continuing this small talk, I think I sort of redon my armor, continuing again the awkward small talk the entire time.
So you're donning your armor before you go back to your room?
Yes.
Alright, donning your armor takes 10 minutes.
Never mind. I think I'll awkwardly carry my armor to my room.
Okay, just wanted to clarify.
Sort of
wearing
big,
a small clothes and going to the room.
Yeah.
Big scooped up that I've sort of got the I've got the sort of warhammer kind of awkwardly balanced across it. My shield's on my sort of undershirt on my back. And it's just have a good evening. I hope to chat with you again tomorrow.
Yes, this has been informative. And she smiles.
I sort of give a demure smile back and head on out. And I head to what is very obviously my room that I picked earlier.
She definitely knows who the brains of the operation is not.
Darmyl thinks that went great. Thinks he has a new friend.
It did go great. You did not make an enemy and you didn't have to kill anybody, so I'd say that was a win.
Didn't get skunked in the arm wrestling, which he's flying high from.
Alright, so then at this point, we are in fact having a long rest, everybody. Quick pulse check. Since we are going into a long rest, would you like to continue for another half hour? I do not foresee us getting into combat at this point. Otherwise, we have been going for almost a few hours, and we could call it here as well. A couple hours, but still.
I think Ember is toast.
I will be copying Serene's bedtime ritual of turning in the circle 3 times and then crawling into bed. Meaning I am also ready to be done.
Okay, yeah, so we will call it for this evening and we will pick up on our next session. So thank you all for making time tonight.
Yay!